Welcome to this tutorial for Concatenate plugin for Adobe Illustrator CC. Here you'll see what it does and how to adjust the settings to get the most of it. Many people aren't familiar with the term concatenate, which means to link things together as in a chain or series. In Adobe Illustrator, the plugin combines a series of paths into one continuous path. To demonstrate the difference between concatenate and Adobe's join command, let's draw a rectangle and break it apart using cut and paste in front on two of the faces. By selecting two endpoints at the same location, Illustrator's join command combines them into one. If we select, say, two of the endpoints that coincide, Illustrator won't do it and shows an error dialog. Concatenate, however, will join the endpoints of even partially selected paths. The Concatenate panel can be shown by selecting it under the Window menu. Values you set here determine how or even whether the paths you select will be combined. These settings include how close the endpoints must be and the difference in their angles at the point where they'll join. An additional smoothing angle defines how closely aligned two curved paths' control handles must be to join them as a smooth point. The Concatenate function can be applied to selected path objects from either the Concatenate button on the Settings panel or from its menu item located under Object, Path. If you concatenate two curves, the gap and tangent angle determine whether to join, and the smoothness setting determines whether to leave a corner point or to adjust the control handles to give a smooth join. In this close-up example, the half-point gap is within the panel's limit of 1 point, and the 37-degree difference in the angles of the control handles is within the 45-degree tolerance, and so these paths will be concatenated. The Assimilate function starts with one or more selected paths and searches for other paths in the document whose endpoints conform to the settings you choose. If the ends align, the paths are combined. Let's put this plugin to work. Here's a map imported from U.S. Geological Survey data. Water bodies colored blue, roads in brown, and railroads in green. Map data like this is imported in sections, so the 12 used here form a grid that we want to remove. This appears simple at first, but we quickly discover that these lines never really cross each other. Every path between every other path is a separate object. First, let's remove the boundary paths. We could select and delete each one, but there's an easier way. Let's zoom in and carefully drag select some boundaries. Click the Assimilate button, and the plugin will search nearly 15,000 paths in the document to find any that meet the criteria we set. And there they are, combined and selected. Hit delete and they're gone. Now we'll go to the water layer. In most GIS files, rivers and streams are on a separate layer from lakes, but we're not that lucky this time. Let's look for paths that are obviously lakes. If you've installed the free Select Menu plugin, you can simply select the menu item, Select, Object, Closed Paths, and apply a fill, or in this case a graphic style called Lake. Hiding these paths will make it easier to look for other lakes to close and fill. These lakes were likely split by the quadrant boundaries we deleted earlier. Select its path to concatenate them. In the panel, we'll set the gap distance to 2/10 and a tangent angle of 15 ought to work. Since files of this type have only corner joins, smoothing is irrelevant. For the lakes that didn't close, we can try a larger tangency angle and continue. Let's finish the water layer by concatenating the rivers, then applying Simplify Path to the entire water layer. Now we'll move on to the roads. There are a lot of rural roads, so let's change the stroke to something thin and light. I'll zoom in to select and assimilate segments of major highways like I-29, adjusting the tangent angle up or down to assimilate more aggressively or selectively as needed. Once the highways are joined, they can be given appropriate styles. When the highways are all defined, go back to select the country roads and concatenate them to reduce the path count. Railroads can be cleaned up similarly by assimilating the long, simple areas and concatenating more detailed areas, such as junctions and sidings. If you have a topographic background, you can place it behind the line work and you're ready to begin adding labels, legends, scales, and other elements. Thank you for watching.